vote of whose vision you're gonna go with. You are Jason Kroenke. What do you do?
So you see, the thing is, right? Jason Gooner knows a
Mhm.
lot more about ball than Jason Kroenke,
Right?
and I
Facts.
think that's a part of the problem because he might end up going more towards Arteta because he's more familiar with him. But if he's using his brain, he'll say, "I've been familiar with you for all this time, and clearly we're not quite getting there. So maybe I should go with the shiny new thing I have and
Hmm.
trust what he's talking about." Um, but for me, it's quite clear. It has to be go with what Berta is saying because the coach's position is just less. I think right now, if we don't win something, I don't think he'll
Hmm.
survive. And so, why would you keep on going with what he's saying if you know that it's about to be the end for him? Like it could potentially be the end. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, I hear that part, but I also look at the other side of the coin and I say, if I'm Cronky, and even though I'm more familiar with you, Arteta, I have seen your way come up short 3 times, and not all of those second place finishes are created equal. The only second place finish that I'm actually upset about was the one from 23-24. This second,
Right.
we were nowhere near it. The first challenge, we surprised everyone and just ran
Yeah,
out of
it's just like, oh, we're here. All right.
gas. So the second title charge, so to speak, proved that under pressure you weren't quite at the races. And I gave you a transfer window following that, and we got further away from the title. So if I'm more inclined, Daniel Levy. What did I ask you about the end sacking? What did you think of the end sacking?
And sacking,
Yeah,
I don't think we spoke about it, but I was kind of surprised to be honest.
yeah.
I mean, I know they finished where they finished, but at the same time, I don't remember ever seeing them win anything. So I was just like, wow. I mean, that's kind of interesting. But look, that just shows like we are very patient with our coaches
Do you think that
because
was the right decision though? Do you think it was the right decision to sack him?
I think he had said a lot of things in terms of like towards the fan base. Like, I don't think that, I mean, yes, he won them a trophy, but there's a lot of things that he had said over the time, like, this club tradition and how they think is wrong. And remember when they were saying, like, oh, you should just lose the game so that Arsenal don't, get help from you. You remember
Mhm.
when they were going to play City in that game?
Yeah,
So I just feel like he had said a lot of things towards the fan base. It's kind of like when Xhaka did the middle finger.
yeah.
It's like no matter what you do after that, it's
Mhm.
just like, he can't stay here anymore. Him don't rate the people, him don't rate the fans, him don't rate the club.
Yeah. So the reason I brought that up and I asked the question because in his letter when he sacked Ange, Daniel Levy, one of the statements that he made that actually resonated with me, he said, "You cannot lead with emotion. You cannot make
Mm,
emotional decisions in these football spaces." And I think that's what's keeping Arteta at the club. There's a lot of emotional attachment to him from the fans, from Kroenke, because the club was rotten, right? After when Emery lost the dressing room, the club was rotten. It was booing every week at the Emirates. We're getting peppered by Watford. We were in a bad place, all right. And he came back, and especially with that first title push, like the assembled said, when we surprised everyone, it did bring the club together. As much as I'm not Arteta's biggest fan, I'll give him credit for what he did well. He did bring the club back together, got everyone singing, North London forever and all this stuff. He did bring the club together, and I think there's an emotional attachment there that they're very reluctant to cut.
yeah,
And I think the longer we we hold on to that, the more damage it can be done if you don't follow the Levy model. Because fresh off a parade to sack a manager, if you're Tottenham, I mean, we've seen Roman do this. What I mean? We've seen like Real Madrid and Bayern Munich do this, but these men ain't lifted a trophy in since '08, and they've done it. So it's problematic for me when I see a manager who just lifted silverware get sacked, and one who is trophyless in 5 years is safe.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. I mean, look, I think you're right. I think a part of it is just, we are Arsenal fans, you and I. So we
Mhm.
see everything that Arsenal does. And a lot of it is like brilliant social media, PR, like, bench cam, and Arsenal does all the things that like make you get attached emotionally, right? And some of the fans, and I think to an extent, as you said, the actual owners of the club and the board and all these people, they get an emotional attachment to him too. So it's hard for them to make that decision where, it's like they're getting rid of their cousin or their, it's a different relationship than the coach to the board. It's like he's a part of the family, which is kind of the culture that Arteta wanted. So in a way, it's like, he did that to be in the job, because he knew like Arsenal fans, Arsenal culture, they want another Wenger. Like
Yeah.
in the perfect mind, it's like we have someone there for 16 years, he plays brand of football, blah, blah, blah. Or 20 years, however long it was. So that's why I think you're right. It's a different type of feeling that the fans get towards the coach because of that long stretch of time. Now, the flip side to that is, if that's the case, why is it that Man U fans aren't attached to their coaches? Because they're not serving forever.
But that's the thing. They have won recently, and they were attached to Ully. Because when I asked, man, like full 90 with Kish, big him up. When I asked him, what did you win with Ully, an actual club legend, he pauses and he thought about it. I'm like, bro, I'll save you the time. Nothing. You won nothing. But as soon as you sacked him, Ten Hag, a manager that United fans universally hate, delivered 2 cups to you. Right? And now you, man, really like Ruben because he speaks well and he dresses well and he's very media trained very well and says all the things that the fans are saying in bars and pubs. But he's not winning. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's one of them ones where I really believe that Daniel Levy made a business decision. He just ripped the Band-Aid off. He's not trying to peel it off slowly. He just ripped the Band-Aid off. Big up to the assembly. He said they are trying to confuse everyone and really after Nunez, Jota, or Rashford, like the Georgina fiasco. But that's the thing, the assembly. I don't know what advantage that gives us trying to confuse everyone because your squad is going to be your squad come August 1st or September 1st. Whenever the window closes, your squad is your squad. These dark art tactics that Arteta has been trying to use, trying to confuse the opponent. Bro, Man City don't try to confuse the opponent. Wenger never tried to confuse the opponent. We're going to impose our style of play on you. Can you stop what we're doing?
Yeah.
This all this extra stuff that he's doing, I'm not getting, bro. I'm not feeling it. Big up.
I think there was a point when like he first got hired that just like how you're talking about Amorim, where he would say the right things, say the things that people saying in pubs. Like Arteta was doing that at first. And something happened at some point, I guess when we started to get like better in the league, right? Once we started to, all the pundits are saying, yes, they're going to be the ones to challenge this year or maybe win it or whatever the case is. He started to change how he talks in post-match and pre-match and stuff. I don't like, that's the main thing with me is like in his brain, I don't think he's saying the things that got me to like him in the first place. It's changed a bit, it's the ball now. It's the it's different. It's not the same saying community shields are trophies, It's like there's too many times now he's talking and I'm saying, damn, like, why are you saying these things? I don't like this. I don't like this at all. And I don't think that was the case at first. Like at first, he used to say a lot of things that I would be like, damn, I was thinking that. But that has changed. That's not happening anymore. And it's actually showing like that on the pitch. From him start chat madness, we're not looking the same on the pitch.
You think that even though he puts on this poker face and sits at the press conference and says all this stuff, right? You think like internally the pressure is getting to him because he does things that are out of character. When you become a walking contradiction, right? When you go against your own philosophy, it tells me that you're rattled somehow, right? Because he came out in the beginning, he was very disciplined in his approach. How we played, how we did this, how we did that. But now I see us getting beat in games. Then he come out and then he said we dominated the game, and I'm like, bro, what game were you watching?
Seriously. It don't make any sense. I mean, I don't know why he's on that. I think it is pressure, and I think he tries his best not to like, like outwardly crack like, but I think he does all the time in games. Like I think it got to a point. It's getting to a point now where he has to figure out a way to like give his message differently on the pitch. Like it can't always be you know, like he has one way. It's just a rah,
Mm,
constant. Like just some of the time, like I feel like it's a real thing when they say that the manager, like his emotions,
yeah.
players take that on.
Yep.
So, you know, I feel like even players that I think look like they want to mature as players, it's like they look for instruction to the coach, and it's always, and I feel like that
Yeah.
hurts them, man. That hurts them,
Yeah.
and, and it makes them confused. Some of the time, it looks like.
Yeah. Because we're moving like this in the transfer window, right? We're moving slow, and we see Liverpool making moves. We see City and Liverpool moving like they're the ones who won the league. They're looking like they're the ones who want to win the league, and we're moving like the ones who won it. Yeah, we're dragging our feet because we're moving like this. I really believe if we start slow, it's going to get very toxic at the Emirates. If we start slow in the first 4 or 5 games, and we see Liverpool and City blitzing teams, I don't think any of the excuses are going to run with red cards, injuries, or referee decisions. I don't think any of that will matter if we start slow. We need a fast start. That's what I'm so upset that the transfers are not being actively pursued and signed early, that way we can get our preseason done. Because I said on yesterday's stream that I feel like Liverpool and City are widening their gap on us. It's like I feel them pulling away from us. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, look, if the feeling is we're going to try to go again with no injuries, right? Because clearly last season Arteta thought that team could win the league because that's the team we started the year with, right?
Yeah.
And maybe what might happen, and what usually happens with Arsenal, we start off okay, because I don't think it will ever be we lose the first 5, right? But we don't start off well enough to keep up with the big dogs, whoever the big dogs be this next season coming up. Probably Liverpool and City, right? And then at the end of that transfer window, we scramble and we get 2 loans and one player that nobody wanted, and we go again.
Yeah.
So what we need to be doing though is what these other teams are doing. Like you see the targets out there. Everybody see them, bro. Like why?
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, all right, even if, because we have like, how many players realistically do you think you want to buy this summer?
I'd say 4 to 5.
4 to 5. Okay. So we just, if we're gonna buy 4 to 5, wouldn't you be happy if it just came out tomorrow morning that we bought a striker?
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm not saying get all the business done tomorrow. I'm just saying, like, you have to read the room, Arsenal. Like, the teams around us are doing things. The teams that are not even in the picture in the league, like United, are doing things, right?
Yeah.
So read the room. Like,
Yeah.
you have all these deals going on. We're interested. We're linked. Informal offers. Like, do something, bro. You have to do something, because you're right. At this point, if you can't pull the trigger on something, that just tells me you're not prepared, because the window has started.
Yeah. And the irony of this whole thing is that Arteta himself was a panic buy, right? Because in 2011, when Fabregas went back to Barcelona, we went to Old Trafford and get fist up 8-2. The very next week, we went and bought, right? So he himself encompasses what we're doing. Like Sterling at the deadline day was, complete panic buy. I wish I got egg on my face, because I was actually on record on stream saying that I would take Sterling at the club because of the bad output that we got from Martinelli the previous.
Social media.
Yeah.
Yo, brother, you don't remember the video?
Which one?
He was like, I forget what his quote was, but yo,
Oh.
I was like, yo, the man might do something. All right.
Yeah.
I'm worse in my yard, man. So
Yeah.
you're like, you want it to work, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
Bro.
But I had said that before he even made the video. Before we were just linked with him, I'm like, yeah, I'll take Sterling. He's a 4-time Premier League winner. I'll take him over Martinelli, because Martinelli gave us nothing. Our attack was just right side dominant. So yeah, Arteta himself, he symbolizes how we're moving in the transfer market, how he got to the club. But if Sesko is your man or Gyökeres is your man, regardless of how the fans feel about it, go get him. Go get him early and get your business done. Right, that way you can embed him in and he can start learning what runs he needs to make when Saka has the ball in this position, that position. Because that stuff is gonna take time. The sooner time is not our friend.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
think that the big advantage when you get the signings over the line early in the summer, they can go on the tours with the team. They
Yep.
can, get to know the players, because that's an important part of it. Absolutely. And not only off the field, but on the pitch relationship. Like you said, tendencies of players. Like, he might figure out, oh, every time Saka does this, I know he's looking in this space right here. But those are the things that you won't get right away. You'll have to play with them a few times. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, there's many advantages to doing your business early. Plus, you can figure out how this, like, okay, you wait until the end of the summer transfer window to do most of your business,
Yeah.
and then you know what club we support? It's Arsenal. So somebody's gonna get injured.
Mm-hmm.
What if you're on tour, wherever your tour is, and a man does his ACL, a man that you're thinking is gonna play, you know, if it happens right before the end of the window, guess what? You just have to
Mm-hmm.
you have to put party at right back or do some madness. So,
Oh my
which you
God.
don't have to do, by the way, but you choose to do.
Yeah. What do you think of this comment right here from Hendo? Big up Hendo Gooner. And big up to Drew Ross and big up to all the man them from Jason Gooner who's tuning in. Big up to everyone on my side who's tuning in. That that Arteta seems to have a problem with managing big egos and like the drunkard that we talk about. Like
We
he likes
spoke
the nice
about
guy.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. Like so Sesko seems like he's young, he's malleable, he's a kid, 22, a kid to me, old man, right? There's something there. The more I try to ignore this narrative that it's an Arteta agenda, which whatever if it is, I'm fine with. But the evidence seems to support that he likes players that he can control, and Sesko seems to kind of be more along the lines of what he likes to control. Big up, man, like views. Big up.
But the thing is, right? Sesko is 22. He's young. He's clearly
Mm-hmm.
going to get sold for a decent amount of money. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's just like a humble kid. I don't really know his background so much, but I'm thinking as well, like, Yoker is what, like 26, 27?
27, yeah.
I mean, which one you think has a bigger ego right now?
Ah, I don't even know. I don't even know if either of them have one. But if one of them is gonna have an ego, it's probably gonna be Gyökeres. You scored 50 goals in 50
Four
games.
more goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. True.
So when you're bagging like that, and you have a club who's screaming out for a striker, like we've said, our defense is not the problem. Our midfield is okay. We came close with that midfield. We
We
know where
can
the
go
hole.
back. We can get through. Yeah.
We know where our problem is, and if he feels like he's the answer to that problem, bro, I welcome it. Come solve the problem, and if not, after 2 years and it doesn't work, we try something else. But we can't just sit on our hands and be like we can't find the profile, because this is something that Wenger used to do that used to piss me off. Didn't sign anyone because we didn't find the right profile of player. Or you're a coach. Sometimes you have to coach players into what profile is Verts. Some players are just good enough that you have to build your system to suit them. You know what I mean? I guarantee you there are managers who have managed Messi who don't like that profile of player. One player
Yeah.
that
It's
plays.
almost to me, it's like the whole like system striker thing, right? Like, how well will he be in the system or blah blah blah. Like a true striker, it doesn't even matter what system you're playing. The man is just gonna bag goals, right? But the thing is, I honestly feel sometimes Arteta wants like Saka and whoever else, Martinelli, Trossard, like he wants most of the goals to, like, I don't know if he wants most of the goals to come from them, but like he looks at like the City model with Sterling on the wings, 20 goals.
Yeah.
The Liverpool Salah with 20 goals from the wing. Like it's almost like he's expecting that to happen. But you think Saka will ever bag 20 in a league?
I think he could. I think he needs to. I think that's the level he needs to get to. I'm gonna be honest. Like I think we need some Mo Salah-esque output from Saka, and he's
What's
on
Saka's
pace.
highest goal scoring in a league season?
I think 15. I think 15 or I think 14 or 15
Yeah,
is his
14,
highest.
15. Yeah. I think you're right.
He's on pens, so we get what 4 or 5 pens a year. So we're asking you to score 15 open play goals. I don't think that's an
A huge
outrageous.
ask.
Yeah, I don't think it's an outrageous claim. I think if we do get better left wing play, then his output will improve, especially the assist numbers. But yeah, I don't think it, because as Arsenal fans, we love to throw Saka in the world class debate. Whenever rivals are talking about Arsenal don't have any world class players aside from Gabriel and Sudi, but he's the first name that we throw out there. And if we're going to throw that, then it's fair for us to ask for you to give us 18 to 20. If you can get 18, bro, 20 ain't too far. You can bag. I think he's never scored a hat trick for us.
Yeah,
So a hat trick, a couple of braces here, and then a consistent one in every 3 games get you 20 goals. It's
I
not.
saw this. I just sent you something I saw yesterday. You might
Mm,
have seen it already, like this top 10 winger list or something. Did you
mm,
see that?
mm-mm. You send it on Insta?
Yeah, I just sent it to your IG.
Mm, tag
But
me.
they have on this top 10 list, they have Saka at number 6, I
That's
believe. And I was like, okay, who made this list?
who's number one? Salah.
Yeah, number 1 is Salah.
Yeah, I see it. I see it now. Rafinha,
Um,
Vini, Dembele, Saka, Kvaratskhelia, Messi, Nico Williams,
but
Rodrigo.
it's just hilarious. I mean, Kvaratskhelia probably look at that list and say, really? Really?
I don't know. That list looks like that's a mad list. That list look like a whole show debate by itself.
Bro, I almost, just because you sent me what we're talking about, I was like, but this would be a nice,
Yeah.
like, do
Yeah.
you agree with this list?
Oh man, yeah, bro, that's a show by itself because that's a mad one. That is a mad one. I'll probably discuss that during like the club World Cup. Big up to Godfrey, big up to Mandem, some dappings are going. Big up. Benjamin said LFC and Man City are the only contenders for the league next season. 10 under 10 window. Arsenal will fight for top 4 and the cup. Ooh.
Top 4 go.
Thoughts?
Look, the track record is bleak, so I don't really have much faith, but at the end of the day, the window is still open. So, we could 2 months from now, we could be saying, yo, can you believe Arsenal's window? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't think that will happen, but it's possible. The window's open. And look, I can't even say we're linked to a lot of people, and that makes me feel great because we were linked to players for like 10 straight windows, like in the past, like Benzema and like strikers. Like we've been linked to strikers forever. So, I know Benjamin is probably half trolling, half telling the truth. I will kind of feel the same way. Like I'm kind of halfway. Like I can't say here definitively today that we're not gonna do anything because the message has been from day one, like we have X amount. So I'm thinking of that number. Because usually when Arsenal throw out a number, that's what we spend, usually.
Yeah.
And they said over 200, right? So I'm just thinking of that number and I'm saying, okay, let's see where this 200 goes.
Yeah. The reason why I can't even give Benjamin any kind of pushback against this comment is one, this year we didn't challenge. We weren't no title contender this year. We spent 0 days at the top of the table. We weren't a serious contender this year. And the way City and Liverpool are moving would suggest that he's right. We were a top 4 team this year. It came down. We finished 1 point above Man City, and they had an horrendous year. They had a run where they won 2-11. We finished 1 point above them. We won less games than Newcastle. So we were miles off it, bro. Miles off it. Big up to Gavin, the assembled again. Say Arsenal have not been prepared for the season for the past 2 seasons. Transfers and team tactics, player rumors, and wanting to leave appalling. We are performing according to our preparation. Damn, that's a lot there to unpack. That's a lot there to unpack because he's onto something.
Yeah, that's true because look, you have to think about it, right? What are the players thinking right now? Think of like Rice, Saka, the players that when they're there, for the most part, they're performing well. And they're looking around and they're saying, yo, if we just get a little more damn help, we will do something. And they're looking and they're seeing City sign players. They're seeing Liverpool sign up, a couple of players and not afraid to spend big bucks on players. Yeah. Players that, I read something, right? And it's so true. When is the last time Arsenal bought a player that the club that they're buying them from didn't want to sell. Like they just went somewhere and just grabbed up a player that's playing for the team. You know, Leverkusen clearly didn't want to sell Wirtz. But Liverpool did a bid that they could not turn down the 150, bro. They're not going to turn that down.
I'm thinking that the only player that comes to mind was Partey, and that wasn't even a deal. It was a release clause trigger. You know, it wasn't like a negotiation.
Yeah, no, release clause is different, bro. You go get the release clause paid. That's different. I'm saying there's no release clause. You just put out a bid, and the player, no, not the player, but the club is like, yo, I don't really want to sell you, you know, and the player is just, I want to go because I just want to go play for this club, you know. We don't do shit like that.
Yeah, that's a great point, because I remember there was some funny circumstances around Aubameyang. I know Lacazette was supposed to go to Atletico, and that deal fell through. He ended up at Arsenal. You know, Ozil was a deadline day thing, and even Alexis was. They had to make room for Neymar. You know, Neymar was coming. They had to get, and Pedro and all these men were there. So yeah, that's a great take.
We basically find, you know, we're bargain shoppers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like sometimes a situation falls in our lap and we benefit. So like Neymar coming to Barcelona. That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
We would have never had Alexis Sanchez if it wasn't for that domino falling.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah. And even with this Rodrigo
thing might happen with Rodrigo if he does come. It's like they just have this team right now where, damn, we got basically two left. We got three left wingers. Because Mbappe really can play out there too.
Yep.
You know, but Vinny is there, and he's not gonna play over Vinny more than likely. So if he really is adamant about playing on the left, then he just has to leave.
Yeah, and that's what it is, man. We have these requirements, you know, 180-page specifications document. What other tosh? Yeah, man. It's like trying to make the perfect player. We just need to get someone who can score goals. That's what we need. Someone who bags goals. Whatever baggage he comes with, we'll manage that. We'll manage that. That's why you're the manager.
I saw it wasn't very reputable, but have you seen anything about Tony? Apparently, they might try to get like a 30 mil, 40 mil or something for Ivan Tony.
I think there's a 0% chance that
he would never sign Ivan Tony though.
Yeah,
I was like,
I think he
that source I saw that from. I was like, nah,
he won't.
Nah.
I'd see him going to Tottenham or Chelsea before he come to us. Honestly, I could even see him going to Liverpool before he comes to us. He is not.
I think,
and this is another one of my worries.
If they're throwing around 30, 40, then he's worth it.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely worth it. And the thing about it is, we're not the only team that need a striker. Not the only big team that needs a striker. So why are we dragging our feet with all these, man? You know, I think PSG could use a striker. I think Barcelona knows that Lewandowski's 36, 37. Liverpool have made it clear that Nunez is not their guy. Chelsea need a striker because I don't think they're sold on Nico Jackson. I think the lap is there to be a backup. So the more we drag our feet, you know, the more these agents will look and be like, well, you can get the same money. You know, Chelsea are in Champions League. You know, Liverpool are strengthening from the top of the league. You know, you have other options. Do not let Arsenal drag you out and take you down this road where you have to fit this mold of a player for them to sign you. There are other options out there. I fear that we will lose out on what we actually need, trying to be, you know, this due diligence madness and just take it too damn far.
Well, that's how we ended up with Sterling on the loan. You know, it's like we had our targets, it didn't work out, and we didn't have enough contingency plans. You know, we did. It's like once the ABC fell through, it's like, oh damn, let's call, you know, Chelsea or City for a loan. You know.
Speaking of loans, I don't know how reputable it is either, but I don't know if you've seen that Rashford one. I think the Assembled mentioned it earlier. That there's apparently this affinity that Arteta has with Rashford. We couldn't get Rashford last year because we already had 2 Premier League players on loan, but this year, you know, Neto went back, Sterling went back. I'm not a fan of it. You know, I'm not a fan of Chelsea's trash. I don't want to start taking Man United's trash. You know what I mean? So I don't know what you think of, you know, Rashford to Arsenal, even though I think he's technically an upgrade on March.
I'm not going to get fooled by like a couple of decent performances at Villa. Like I just
Villa.
don't, for whatever reason, I just think mentally like he's just not there. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too deep into it, but I don't even
Yeah,
think with him it's like a ability thing. Like he has a lot of ability, it's clear.
he
But
does. Yeah.
for whatever reason, he just can't get his head right. It's like I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him, but I wouldn't want him at Arsenal. And for sure, I don't think Arteta, based on like, what we've heard, maybe he might not be the way he's portrayed, because I know that can happen sometimes. But
Mm,
I don't think Arteta would be taking any chance, honestly. But you're right. Every time we link to him, it's always Arteta's been a huge admirer. So who knows? Maybe he
yeah,
knows something we don't.
I think he needs to leave England, man. I think he needs to leave England and go try somewhere else. It's just not working. I think him and I think even Sancho needs to leave the Premier League and go back to Bundesliga. And that's where your money is, bro. Like Sancho, fantastic player. I used to go to Dortmund and see him all the time when I lived in Germany. There's something about that league that suits him. The Premier League is just it's just not his thing. But speaking of, let's take it away from Arsenal for a little bit, man, because I don't want to get my blood pressure up so high early in the morning. Yeah. But we've seen links of Gyökeres actually going to Man United. They've already signed Cunha and Buemo links. Um, Bruno, Cunha, Gyökeres, and Buemo. That attack on paper sounds better than ours.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure. I mean, all those players too, like besides Gyökeres, are proven goal scorers in the Prem.
yeah.
So that's the part that's like scary. And also, like, why is it all right? So where's Cunha gonna play? He's gonna play like left of the number 9 and left 10, right?
I think he's gonna play. I think he'll play. Gyökeres. Say they sign all those players. I think you'd have Gyökeres.
Yeah.
Yeah, and right behind him you'll have Mbuemo as a wide forward and Cunha as an attacking 10, and then Bruno, Ugarte, and probably
But that would be it. Then you have your five. You
yeah,
have your three and then your two wing backs.
yeah. I mean,
But I'm just saying, like, don't we need a left-sided attacking player?
mm-hmm. We need two.
Don't you think Mateus Cunha is a very good player?
Bro, we should have agreed to terms with him in January.
Bro, I don't understand. Like, why is it? I mean, I don't know. Maybe maybe he saw his red card record and was like, nah, maybe.
Yeah,
He has PTSD with the red cards. So maybe he
yeah,
was he was off the table.
he didn't pass the red card test. Because that's the thing, right? We already got one black eye of having Liverpool leapfrog us to a title, right? It was us and City, us and City. Liverpool have kicked us out the line and said, hey, look a boy. Right. That's all, yeah. We can't have any of these other, it can't be Chelsea, it can't be United, it can't even none of these clubs can jump in front of us, especially jump in front of us and win another trophy before us, bro. Like heads will have to roll. If it gets to that point, then Arteta probably has taken us so far backwards that the next manager will have a bigger task on his hands than Arteta had on his hands when he came in, because this is going to be really toxic, bro.
Yeah, man.
You know.
You're right about that toxic thing about like the league starting a certain way. Like
Mhm.
it's like when you said it, I'm like, oh damn, he's right. Like, if we were to lose like two out of the first three or something like that, like and the window continues, like the window, like the season starts and the window is still open and we haven't done much of anything. Like, yeah, I think it's gonna be some big problems. Big problems.
Yeah. What you
John
think of
Duran
John
on
Duran?
loan,
Yeah.
huh, I would take him. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's a sniper too.
he had that brilliant flash, kind of dipped off for a little bit. I don't think if he was I don't know, something about Unai Emery is a pure PSR thing, or Unai Emery just didn't think that he could continue that form, because to sell him.
I think it was it's kind of strange. Like I don't even think that Emery likes either one of them, Duran or Watkins, because he sold Duran, and it seems like they would have sold Watkins if the price was decent in Jan.
Yeah, because he even benched Watkins for
He
Rashford.
benched Watkins with no other striker. He was playing Rashford as 9.
Yeah,
He was playing Marlon as 9. He was playing anybody but Watkins.
yeah.
So, but I do think that for Villa, it was a PSR thing with Duran. I
Mm,
don't think it was necessarily because remember, Watkins bagged whatever he bagged last year, and then Duran just kept on coming off the bench and scoring.
yeah,
And eventually, the man say, "Yo, Watkins, you're on the bench, bro," and he just played Duran.
yeah,
So I don't think it was like when when he got sold, everybody was like, "What?"
yeah. That's the Una Emery tax, man. That Una, there's tax attached to him too. He's a good manager. I rate him as a manager, but I apply tax to Arteta. He done some craziness because when I manage your club, you actually look at him through a different lens than everyone else. And when he was here, playing Torreira as a number 10 and all this shit, man, he
He
used to do
did
some
some
crazy.
madness, bro. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
did
did
some
some madness,
madness.
and he was the one. I remember a couple of games he would play Xhaka at left back when he was getting cooked. But Xhaka has got a turn radius of an oil tank, and he's slow as hell. You want to put him at fullback?
Left back don't make no sense.
I remember Zaha used to cook him, but I'll take Durant. I think Durant is, I think Durant is
Nothing wrong with Duran, man. I mean, he's a sniper.
yeah. But the schedule, the Premier League schedule comes out next Wednesday, June 18th, right? So then that's gonna be a whole show because then we'll get to mark, Tottenham away, this game, that game. But I want to see our first 6 or 7 fixtures leading up to the international break.
Yeah, man.
And like I said, I don't
First 7 fixtures, it's gonna be like let's see, Sunderland. Um,
Leeds.
yeah, man.
Leeds. Oh,
Sunderland Leeds. Just give me the 3 promoted teams. I'll take it.
no, give
Actually,
us some
I don't
guaranteed.
even know because,
Give
like,
us some
what do you
guaranteed.
think is better to have a soft early, right, or like a running that's easy? I would always take the easy running because you have to think about it. Most of these teams in the first 3-4 weeks, well, not City and Liverpool because they do their business early, but all the other teams, they might have new pieces and it's not they're not the finished article. Some clubs
Yeah.
at that time. Um, how much of an effect do you think playing in the Club World Cup going to have on teams going into the season?
I think we'll see more injuries for teams who have to play in and that didn't bolster their squad. Like we saw an unprecedented amount of injuries last season coming into this season. And yeah, I think but Chelsea have a big squad. I mean, they're going to be playing against River Plate and Seattle Sounders and that. So it's not until the knockout rounds where they actually have to play their full squads. But City, they have a big squad. Yeah, I don't think it will matter that much. If we were in it, it'd be more problematic for us because our squad is, much, much smaller. But as far as the schedule goes for the first 6, 7 games that we get, bro, I don't want to see any of the promoted teams in the first weeks. Those promoted teams, when they come up, they have
That's the only time they have hope.
yeah. Because you remember 2021, we go away to GTEC Stadium. Brentford came up and they fished us up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm walking around there, my jersey, embarrassed, 2-0, getting punched up. I don't want that. I want guaranteed wins. Who are guaranteed wins for us? Tottenham at home, West Ham away, Palace away.
For real. Certain fixtures we
Yeah,
just win.
certain fixtures. Even Chelsea at home. They've been our battering rams for like the past 2-3 years. You
Yeah,
know what I
in
mean?
the league they
Yeah.
can't. They haven't done nothing.
I want them. Then we establish something. Get the players embedded and then go on a run because I do not want to hear any excuses about, oh, it's a long season. Give it time now. We don't have time. We are the only club that don't have the luxury of time. I think we'll keep suffering as long as that's the way it stays. The assembled. Big up to Rob Smith, up Gooner. This show pop up. It seemed like my wife paid the Netflix subscription.
And big
Yeah,
up to DNA football. Big up to BM and
yeah.
RR. Yeah, man. Some of the Gooner people them a check in. Big them up.
Nitro 6'9".
Yeah, man. Nitro. I don't
6'9".
know where him get them numbers there, but
Yeah, brother. Put some clothes by your name, brother. Like, what we doing? LFC Monster said, as a Liverpool fan, this all sounds familiar. After we won the league, we didn't hit the ground. The iron was hot. And every year we got promises that were never met, and always linked to players and never signing them. Yeah, but I remember because the 2021 season, after you won it in 2020, you man had a stinker. I think you finished on 69 points or something. That was the year Van Dijk did his ACL, I think. But there was some injuries there. But yeah, you man had a massive fall off, which I think is another reason why Liverpool is going against the narrative that we only win the league when City fall off. So they are strengthening with intent, right?
All right. So when Liverpool won it, I guess the end of the year was the COVID, and it was played the next season. You said they got 69 points, had injuries and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just had a season where we had a bunch of injuries. Do you give any credence to the fact that we actually finished second still, like the way the season went, or no?
We had finished
because yeah, like the fact that we, how many points did we end up with? What, 82? Was it 82?
This year?
Yeah.
74. We had 74 points. We ain't good.
74, right? And they had what, 80? How much Liverpool had? 87?
84.
84? All right.
Yes.
So is the points being 74 like something that you look at more than finishing second?
Yeah, because we dropped so many points from winning positions.
The way that we got to 74 is concerning.
Yeah, but no, the thing is we finished on 74 points, but we dropped like 20 something points from winning positions. Like we were literally winning the game and conceded. That worries me. And those weren't down to injuries at all. Like there were injuries. There were games where we went into games with the injuries or with a pitchy patchy squad where we had to play Marino here and play Partey there or whatever. But like the Villa game wasn't one of them. We were up 2-0 in that game. The Everton game, we were up 1-0 in that game and gave away a Sydney penalty. Lewis Kelly. The Brighton away game, we were up in that game, gave away another pen. There were so many games where we just gave away points. And I'm just asking for 6 of those draws to turn into wins, and we would have been right there. I just think that I don't think the guys were locked in and just realized just how bad we need this as a club.
Yeah.
I mean, I just need them to lock in and focus. When you're locked in and you're focused, you don't give away silly penalties like that, man. You don't reach in, you don't 2-foot, you don't pull shirts, you don't get silly yellows that lead to accumulation where the squad has to get reshuffled. You don't do that. They weren't locked in, and that to me comes from the management.
Yeah, hard to argue with that.
In my opinion, says the assembled, if City don't win the league, Liverpool will dominate for a while. I've watched them dominate England and Europe at the same time, and that's why the assembled is an OG. Like we saw it. LFC Monster, another Liverpool fan, said, I think it's more of a Rashford thing. Emery pissed off both Watkins and Duran and gave them both most money to get sold. I hear it. Big up to Shane Gooner. I'm on with Shane Gooner later on for the Bruce Banana podcast. So big up. And big up to I Know Football. Appreciate you checking in. Make sure you are hitting the likes, people. Make sure you are subscribing to Jason Gooner TV, people. And make sure you're hitting a sub on BBK Sports as well. But, bro, it is June, 12th?
Mm-hmm.
12th. You putting any stock into this Club World Cup thing?
I spoke to my pops, big up pops, yesterday, and I asked him because his club is Chelsea, right? And I said, do you even know your group? Like, do you know what's going on? He said, to be honest, I'll just wait until like the knockout to really start to pay attention. He's like, yeah, I'll just look at highlights every day. And I was like, but Dad, it's ball, So when you're sitting down and you turn it on the TV and you see it, you ain't gonna see how much playing and not just watch it.
Watch it, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think I take the same approach. Like I haven't been like, all right, what time is kickoff, but I know because the way I am and I love ball. Once it's game day and ball I play, I'm gonna watch the games. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm not like overly, excited. Even it's coming close to where I am. I think Inter Miami plays a game, Man City plays a game close to me. So I'm contemplating. I might surprise the girls and take everybody, but I'm not that excited, bro, to be honest. I'm more waking up and looking at what Arsenal doing in the transfer window.
Yeah.
Like that's where my focus is. And if it's not on that, it's on, as you know, the reggae boys, reggae girls, and that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Yeah. I thought I would be excited getting up about what Arsenal doing, but it depresses me.
So
It
you're
depresses
searching
me.
for something to be
Like,
excited about.
when I wake up and I read Arsenal news, like for example, I go on FootMob and all the favorites are saved, and it goes, I go to City, I see City signing players, and I see Liverpool signing players. When it gets to us, it's talking about everything other than signings. Right, right now, if I even scroll down to transfers on FootMob, Arsenal is talking about Jorginho to Flamengo and his message to the fans, and it's not, I'm like, oh, right, it's Arsenal is just doing my head in, man. I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. But the Club World Cup, is it like a Confederations Cup type deal, but it's with clubs instead of countries?
Yeah, it's FIFA. FIFA is running it, and it's basically just another money grab, bro. I mean, it's a decent prize pool for the clubs, but
That's
I
massive.
think the expense of the tax on the players,
Mm,
it greatly outweighs the monetary gain that the clubs are going to get.
mm. So the thing is that you're gonna see Man City, like a couple of people in the chat saying City and Liverpool are gonna be the main challenges this year, and City are participating in this tournament.
Hmm.
And they're probably going to do well, and they're going to do well in the league as well. Right? They're not going to use this as an excuse to why they don't do well in the league. I hate whenever Arsenal participate or do something, we use it as an excuse going into the season, because City and Chelsea won't use this as an excuse because they're going to be right there. I don't think we're going to be too far from Chelsea. I really don't. I
But
think,
I mean, we weren't that far from them just now.
yeah, I don't think we're too far from them. I think they're the fact that as a core group and as a young group, they actually won something together. They're going to continue to grow as a team. They're going to get rid of a couple of players, but I don't think they're too far. I don't think they're too far
Nah,
from.
they have a. I mean, look, I said it. Once they sort out their defense, to me, if they can figure out the defense, they're gonna be a problem. And it looks like they're looking to rectify the goalkeeper area as well, which
Mm,
is to me the two biggest faults. It's kind of like the opposite of us. Like we need better attackers and they need a better defense.
yeah, but
But I think like around the pitch, they're stacked. I mean, some of their attacking wide options, I would take like a lot of them. You know what I mean?
which one
I don't think there's one they have that I wouldn't take.
do you take Madueke?
Yeah, yeah. Why not? I mean, he's not my favorite. He's probably the last one I would take, but I'm just saying. I'm
What
just
about
saying.
y'all? What about y'all, Felix?
I mean, is he there? That's where he is.
I mean, he's an AC but loan. It's
Oh, so he'll be back.
loan is ended. Yeah.
Um, I mean, geez, why are you going for the ones that you know I'm gonna be like on the fence about?
But
Give
I'm
me
saying that
Neto.
yeah,
Give
Felix was
me
supposed to be a wonder kid, bro. 128 million for Atletico, and he went from a wonder kid to a lone whore. Like he's just all over the place. Like
look, I
what?
don't know what it is, but like, all right, look at somebody like Asensio this past
Mm,
year.
yeah.
I've been saying Asensio is a baller, but for whatever reason, he just keeps bouncing around to club. I don't know why.
Mm,
I guess I don't know. So I think you know what I think it sometimes is when these wonder kids are get bought for this big money and they get put on these huge wages,
mm,
clubs don't know what to do the minute they don't like produce at a level that warrants that type of money. So it
mm,
ends up being we'll pay half your wages over here and I'll loan you for the season just to save. So I think sometimes these wonder kids on huge wages that don't, they don't turn out to be Vinny or the ones that really are Ballon d'Or candidates and all this, they are always gonna be in that boat where clubs will be looking to loan them just to help the wage bill out.
yeah, bro. The only player at Chelsea I would take was Palmer. I don't want any of them. I don't want any more Chelsea
I
trash.
mean, honestly, I don't want any of them just because of the thought
Yeah,
that we're buying them from Chelsea. But if
yeah.
I remove the fact that they play for Chelsea, they have players that I would have.
Mm,
Like now they're tainted. I can't get them anymore. I get it because they played for Chelsea. But I always said we should get Neto. I didn't care that he was injured some of the time. I was like,
mm,
get Neto because he's versatile. He can play both sides, and he's different from who we have. Like he actually wants to put crosses in the box. All of our other players want to dribble, cut in, and shoot. Most of them.
bro, his output was dead.
He
Like
didn't do nothing though. You're right.
his output was Martinelli-esque. I mean, he looks good on the ball, right? Does a lot of cutbacks and keeps the ball well and can get by his man, but there's nothing that he's like a silkier Jeremy Doku, you know? Like
Yeah.
there's
I mean, he's not as I think he makes better decisions than Doku. Like I'm not scratching my head when he does things. But Doku is talented, but he just does madness some of the time.
I think they're really close, man. I don't know. You put
I'm
separation.
not saying I'm not saying they're that far. I'm just saying I think like decision making wise, that's what makes the difference for me. I'm
Uh,
not saying Neto always does the right thing because
but
sometimes I think he shoots when he should have passed. But yeah, the more I think about it, Neto did a lot of madness this year.
yeah, but Doku does make me scratch my head sometimes. I mean, sometimes I'll be like, Doku, what the whoa, what was that?
There's some good stuff. Odegaard, Havertz, and Arteta were wonder kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see it. I see it.
So is that so maybe he might want João Felix. Maybe that's his thing. Like he tries to get people that
Yeah,
were wonder kids.
yeah, yeah. And LFC Monster said billion prize money for the Club World Cup. I hear it because now I'm hearing I don't know what to believe with this PSR thing. One day I hear we're good with PSR, the next day we're bad with PSR. I'm like, how can we be bad with PSR? In the second place payout that we've been getting from the Premier League is almost 200 million. We're getting 100 million from Champions League. You know, we haven't really don't have anyone on no 400-500K a week type deal. How are we bad in PSR? Like I don't know what to believe with this PSR thing right now. I don't know. Is
Yeah,
that more
it don't
PR?
even make sense. Like how all right, how I saw like how is City doing all of this? Like what?
Yeah.
I mean, they spent, you know what money they spent in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah. And they spent in January as well. Remember they bought
They spent big in Jan, bro.
yeah, what was it? Marmouche, Nico Gonzalez, Kushmanov, and
Vitor Reyes.
yeah. So, bro, I don't know. PSR shouldn't be a thing for us. You know, the way we have structured and did our thing and our finishes and our Champions League runs over the past 2 seasons. PSR shouldn't be a thing for us. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it at all.
Did
Didn't
you
Arsenal
see?
pass on AFTV? Go on.
No, I was just gonna say, did you see Martinelli playing for Brazil? I actually watched that game the other day.
I did watch it, but I didn't know what to make of the game. I don't know if Carlo was playing like a 4-2-4. It looked like, but there was Rafinha was on the pitch, Cunha was on the pitch, Vinny and Martinelli.
It looked like he was just playing Vinny and Cunha central, and he had Martinelli playing left wing, and who was the other player on the other side?
It was
Uh,
Rafinha, wasn't it?
yeah, Rafinha was playing, but then it was very fluid because the only person that was static was Martinelli. He stayed on the left.
Mm.
Everybody else just did everything. Vinny was popping up right central in the 10. Cunha was swapping with Vinny. So it was very fluid. But he was like, Martinelli, I want you to play left wing. And that's all he was doing. He was on the left wing.
Oh man,
He was beating his man and crossing the ball and stuff, but
was the cross getting into dangerous
yeah,
space?
it was decent. He was playing decent. He was playing decent.
Yeah,
He was playing decent.
the South American football. Sometimes I struggle to watch it because it's like UFC.
It was a UFC match.
Yeah, I've
Yes,
been
it
like,
was.
bro, they need to clean that up, bro. Like I do, like it's a 90-minute match and the ball may be in play for 35 minutes if you add them all up. It's just
Yeah.
I seen the
Yeah, the
Chelsea.
last Copa America was tough, man. It was like, damn, like, why is it? I mean, I get it, you guys want to win and it's passion, but at some point, like, we have to play football too. You can't just want to fight everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing I see Enzo almost take somebody's head off from Colombia the other day. Yeah, I remember it.
Bro,
Get red. You know, it's a madness.
bro,
Complete madness.
ridiculous.
LFC Monster said, didn't Arsenal fans on AFCV a couple years ago didn't want to start Martinez with Mbappe? And that LFC Monster, my friend, is one of the reasons why I had to start my own channel so I can speak for my damn self. Yeah, because that man at AFTV seems to have forgot where they came from and what started like fan reactions. They have become a media company, right? And they just say stuff for shock value and clickbait now because that one was a madness. And I seen that clip you're talking about. And Dan Robbie, he didn't say just random Arsenal fans. He was putting names to it, like Troops and other man that was saying they would have swapped Martinelli for.
The other one was I just seen one the other day where they were like, who's better, Dembele or Saka, and what's his name, Expressions and the big guy,
KG.
yeah, they
Yeah.
both were like, they had a long speech and they were like, "Well, yeah, we take them belly."
Yeah, okay, them two. Between them two, I can't watch a show with a Tottenham fan or a United fan. That would just make my head. But they're funny though. But yeah, them two,
Nah, yeah, they have a decent chemistry for sure.
yeah, best of enemies. So the assembly says, so what happens when Martinelli leaves and Rodrigo turns into the new Martinelli? Rodrigo would be rubbish. Also, I don't think so. The assembly. I think Rodrigo will bang. I seen him play at the highest level in pressure games. I seen him put in man of the match performances with Valverde, Vinicius, and Mbappe, and all them men on the pitch. I
I
think he's.
mean, Assemble, do you think is that like he's just his best is behind him? I mean, Rodrigo is still only like 24 or
Yeah,
25.
yeah, he's. I think he's class. Bro. I think he's class. I don't think we get him in the transfer window, bro. I think the window shuts, and then Xavi Alonso doesn't play him for games and games and games, and then he gets linked with a move on loan in January, and then we'll go in for him. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
because I saw some reports that whatever talk he was gonna have, he's had, and it's looking good for him to stay.
Yeah,
Like he's been convinced. So I don't know.
yeah, but I'd have him. I would have him in a heartbeat, man. I
And
think.
think about it. I mean, they're in the Club World Cup too, so
Yeah,
they're gonna have all these. I mean, he's gonna play games, man.
yeah. Because did he come on in the Brazil game for Carlo?
No, I
See,
don't.
that's
Was he? He was in the squad.
see, I don't know. That's worrying. So he needs playing time because if
I
he's
don't think he was in the squad.
yeah.
This last squad that Brazil just had, I don't think he was in it.
Okay, so now I
He
get the
did.
assembly's point now. The assembly is he's applying Arteta tax to it. Okay, Arteta tax will ruin any attacking player. That's what he's saying. So
Actually,
yeah,
yeah, that's old.
I get it. So because Rodrigo, if Carlo is managing the national team, he has to go to a club where he's guaranteed to play minutes, and I don't think he's guaranteed to play heavy minutes under Xavi Alonso right now.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't think so. Yeah, he wasn't in the squad in
Yeah,
June.
yeah, so
Yeah.
if he wants to kick a ball in these United States next year, he best ask for a move, a respectful transfer request to somewhere. And I'd have him at Arsenal. We have interest in Rodrigo too. Klopp flew out to Brazil to speak to him before he went to Madrid, so he won't be an easy target for Arsenal. I mean,
Hmm.
I hope you meant had interest. You shouldn't have interest in any other left wing player at Liverpool right now. You got Jota who can play there, Gakpo, Diaz.
Is Diaz, are they good? Is he? He's not leaving. Is he? Came out with a speech. He scored a brilliant goal in that damn
Yeah, he
game
did. Yeah, I think I
in
just
that
heard he's
Argentina
55K.
game.
I heard he's on 55K a week. I was like, y'all better pay that man. Y'all better pay that man some money
He's on
quick.
55K a week.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Wow.
And we're about to put Kepa on 75. We're playing goalkeepers money for man who scores goals. It's a crazy one. But yeah, man, big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to everyone who tuned in from Jason Gooner TV, people. Brother, I don't know if you know, but I did my ACL this weekend. I'm on
What?
yeah, man. I'm on crutches.
Oh, that's why the other day I was watching it and he said, "Oh, I'll be here all day."
Yeah, I'm on crutches, man. I can barely move. So now I can only the leg's supposed to be elevated. I can sit for an hour, so now I got to go back to the bed rest and
All right, man. Get your
do
get
my
your
ice
get your
bath.
physical therapy in, brother.
Yeah, I got another show later, so I got to go get some rest. But bro, I appreciate you jumping on, man. That was an hour. It flew by. It was a appreciate you chopping in, man. Anything else you got coming up? You keep it real quick.
Yeah, people, if you guys are interested, Jamaica has made it into the final round of World Cup qualifying, which means we have basically 3 more windows to get through: September, October, November window. By the end of that, we'll know if Jamaica will be back in the World Cup for the first time since 1998, people. So tonight, the CONCACAF draw is 7 o'clock Eastern, I believe. So on Jason Gooner TV, I'm going to be doing a live reaction show. See how the pots work out. We're in pot 1, people, so we avoid Costa Rica and Panama, which are the other, tough teams left in the qualifying, so they won't be in our group.
Yeah.
And that's probably the best news so far. But there's still some potential bogey teams in there, in CONCACAF. All about how well can you use your diaspora and your heritage players.
Right.
And some of these nations, the Surinams of the world, the Guadeloupes of the world, they're plucking players from French League Division 2.
Yeah.
They're plucking players. Haiti does the same.
Yeah.
So, they might have a certain FIFA ranking, but when it comes down to World Cup qualifying and this final stage, all these countries will be pulling out everything. So don't be surprised you see like, oh, this guy even plays for this country. I remember him from Liga when I was watching this guy play or whatever. So It's always interesting to see what countries come up with. But right now, Jamaica, they're not looking too bad. You know, they had a good result in the last game. I know it's just about consistency because you can see that performance and then you see how they played against BVI the day before, night and day. So, trust me, it's not easy being an Arsenal fan, and it's no easier being a Reggae Boys fan. So,
And the
I'm
Knicks
really
fan at the time.
I'm a glutton for punishment. Knicks fan. I'm a Mets fan. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Oh man, I rep the Yankees, so
One
at
of my
least I'm
teams,
good there.
huh?
At least I'm good there. Yeah, at least I'm good there. But yeah, man, big up, man. Appreciate you coming on. One last comment from the man said, I think we said a 70 million price tag for Diaz. If someone, hey, pay up.
That's
Man.
what I thought I heard, that they were like shopping him around. I was like, damn.
Yeah, send him to Barca, man. I heard that's his dream job. You know, yeah, McLaren doing a decent job. You know, he must. That's what I'm saying. You must, because the World Cup is on this side, so Mexico automatically qualify, right? So we
Yeah,
don't
Mexico, Canada, USA, not in qualifying.
if they fuck this up, I swear to God.
Yeah, literally, bro. It's one group left with 4 teams. One group left with 4 teams. And just to give you an idea, the group could be something like Jamaica, Curacao, Bermuda, and Nicaragua or something. Like that could be the final 4, and you just have to finish first.
Yeah, we must. We absolute must. But yeah, man. You heard it, people. That's 7 p.m. tonight, Eastern.
7 Eastern tonight, people. Jason Gooner TV. If you're interested in seeing the draw and see where Jamaica group ends up in the group, yeah, man, tune in.
Yeah, people. Blessed up, people. Big up to everyone watching. Make sure you hit a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. We are gone.